Hi guys, it's Eli, and I am trans. Just thought we should throw that out there, in case it wasn't clear. But today I thought I would cover something that pretty much everybody covers at one point or another, I don't know. And because it's a big thing, and that is binders. And we all know that's a fairly important staple of the female to male trans community, or the female to non-binary, or female to anything. Just, if you do not have the chest you desire, this magical item will save your life. The most important thing when it comes to getting your first, for those of you who are here because you're looking for your first, because we've all been there, the most important thing is sizing it right. Because I made that mistake when I got my first binder. Oh, I actually have it. Hang on. I'm ashamed at my it'd still be perfectly usable. It's GC2B, good quality, good stuff, nice and stretchy in the back. The only problem is I did not size it right. As you can probably tell just by holding it up, it's too small. Now, there's a couple, what's important is if you're even slightly unsure of what size you should get, like if it's, let's say it's like it was in my case when it was between a small and a medium and you didn't know which one was right, then I would highly recommend going just the larger size just to be safe. Because it's easy to misjudge the way that you're feeling when you put on your first binder, because you know it's not exactly going to be the most comfortable thing in the world. But what's important, I don't know why I'm still holding this, what's important is that you listen to your body. You are going to hear all these things about the binder being uncomfortable, but you will be able to tell when it's too uncomfortable. For example, I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you mine real quick. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Hey. I chose a good day to wear a button-down shirt! So here's mine. Here's what mine looks like. What's important to know is that if the binder, here's a couple ways to know if your binder is too small. If it just barely covers up the important part of your chest and it doesn't have an extra bit at the bottom, it's too small. If this neckline goes all the way up to your collarbone, it's too small. If you feel at any point that you can't really move or that your movement is in any way restricted, it's too small. If after 8 hours, there should not be stabbing pains in your rib cage. It'll be a little bit uncomfortable, yes, because you've been wearing it for the whole day, but there should not be the sensation of spears jabbing their way into your torso and ribs. Another thing that's important to know when you're getting your first is that if you have a little bit of curvature on the chest when you first put it on, that's okay, because dudes have that. And some people like big pecs. Like here, example for mine. This is about as flat as mine gets. I get a little bit of side curvature there. Same on this side. Not as much on this side. But that's okay because that's normal. That's how these binders work. That's how they're designed to work. If they pressed it down so it was completely flat, to be honest, it probably wouldn't look as much like a real chest, because real chests, unless you are a late bloomer, are not totally flat. They've got their bits. They're wiggly jiggly bits. I don't know what I'm doing with my face or hands right now. Another thing that's important when you're buying your first is that you make sure that you are getting it from a reliable source. There's a lot of knockoff versions out there that are not safe or have not been properly tested, and if I were you and I wanted to have a surefire way of knowing that it was a professionally made safe binder, I would go for either GC2B like the one I'm wearing or Underworks. I'm sure this is common knowledge for you at this point, but in case it isn't and you're new to the community, first of all, welcome. And second of all, never bind with ace bandages and never bind with duct tape. Those can do terrible things to your body. In the case of ace bandages, it's because ace bandages do not stretch as you move. They restrict as you move. And that can do serious damage to your ribs and make it really hard to breathe. It's not a safe way to do it at all. And duct tape, I feel like it's a little more obvious. It grabs on the skin. It will not stretch. It will not move. It can do serious damage to your tissues and things like that. So please, 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 no matter how uncomfortable it may seem for you, do not bind that way if it is not safe, which it isn't. I'm dumb. If you are in a situation where it would not be safe or it would not be reasonable for you to go and try and buy a binder right now, either because you're not out or because you don't have money or something like that, or if you share the mail with your parents and you don't want to risk it, there are some ways to get around that. For example, having it get shipped to your friend's house or something. But, and I digress, if you're in a situation where you cannot feasibly get yourself a binder, then there's a couple of things you can do that I did when I didn't have one. What I did most commonly when I was still waiting for mine to come in, the stupid too small one, is you can use the double sports bra method, which is when you put on one sports bra the way that it's supposed to, front ways, and then put another sports bra over the top, but backwards. It works almost as well as a normal binder. It makes your chest look great. You look awesome. It was amazing the first time I did it. The only downside to this is sports bras, you can generally see them a little more easily. They have more visible ridges, like you can see the line from the straps and everything. And you should not wear a sports bra, a double sports bra binder thing for more than 6 hours. For usual binders, the deadline is 8 to 10 hours, but with sports bras, 6 hours is probably the safest bet. When I was wearing sports bras as binder, it was there was a point, I was in the middle of class and I had to bail on the class and go sprinting back to my dorm to change because I was getting stabbing pains and it had only been 5 or 6 hours. So if you must bind that way, it may be safer than ace bandages, but it's still got its disadvantages. Whether you're binding with sports bras or you're binding with a binder that's professionally made, listen to your body. It will not lie to you. It usually won't lie to you. If you feel like things are getting sore and you can't move, take a break and stretch. If you feel like you can't breathe that well, take a minute, take a big deep breath and let it out. Make sure that you're able to breathe and move and be comfortable. If at any point you feel any pain that's really noticeable, or any pains like stabbing pains, take it off as soon as possible. It's best to do it first in a controlled environment where you can take a little bit of time to see how your body is responding and make sure that you're really comfortable with it. And once you're sure about that, then of course, go out into the world. Embrace yourself. So I hope some of those things were helpful for you. If you have any more questions, the internet is a great tool, but if you have any more questions for me specifically about binding and stuff like that, then you can write it down in the comments below and I will do my very best to get back to you. I also have an Ask blog, the link for which I will be putting in the description if you want to send me asks there. So, yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I'm Eli, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye!